Spring rubbers in on that last pit stop, but this was the latest in what they said. Maybe you can explain.
Yeah, what they're doing is steering that axle ahead, and that'll actually make the rear end of the car stay under him a little better. It'll steer the back of the car to the left a little bit, give the driver a little more security, and that's probably a really good adjustment for the problem they're having.
Now, when I used to do that, it would make me better getting at the corner and better off the corner, but sometimes in the center of the corner make the front end take off. So it's kind of give and take, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's probably just so loose he needs to do something. So it's probably a good adjustment. Be interesting to see if it works for him.
Remember, this is stop number 5 in the chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup. How about the chase points as they run right now? Jimmy Johnson will be our points leader. Jeff Gordon in second. Boyer hanging on the third. Look at Kurt Busch all the way up in the 4th position. As these guys are shuffling the points here, remember, we got 5 more after this one to settle the 2007 NASCAR Nextel Cup champion. Matt Kenseth, the leader in the 17 car. The question is, how long will that battery last? You heard the report, 170 minutes on the backup battery. Will they be able to get it fixed? We'll follow the drama as it builds at the pace car or pace truck.
Pace car's down. Pace car's off.
As he pulls off, we'll listen to the spotters as we go full throttle.
Ready. Be ready. Be ready. Green flag, green flag, green flag. You are. Clear. Hold behind you there. 3-1. Still outside. Easy here. Easy. Still outside. Still outside. Clear. Come on. There you go, baby. Still there. Keep coming, you're kidding. Nobody from behind, look at these guys. Still got a nose, clear, attaboy, all clear. Just got one out there now, outside the 7.
Folks, Matt Kenseth is leading, but that 8 car is setting sail. Look like he comes off a turn 2 like he's shot out of a cannon. Watch him come off the turn and just sail by the 49 car.
And Jerry, every single lap and every single restart, it seems like this 8 car's got so much confidence in the top of that track. He strikes like a rattlesnake, man. He jumps right on him and tries to get all he can right off the bat.
You see the 5 car up ahead of Junior. He's running that high line too. He ran behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. that last run for probably 40 or 50 laps, and he watched exactly what Junior was doing, and he learned from it.
More on Dale Earnhardt Jr. with Dave.
And guys, there's no question that Junior has been working on that high line, but he reported on it in his radio during this last caution period. This car will not work on the bottom. He experimented down there during the last run, lost a couple of positions. Looks like he's going to stay high all night on this track.
Right behind him, the 24 car. Whoa! A little contact from Gordon in the back of the 8 car. Sort of moves him up out of the groove, and Gordon goes right on by.
It looked like he was going to try that bottom lane right as Dave finished up with that. And then when he did that, his car didn't get through the corner very well, and the 24 got into it. Well, they're future teammates, right?
Well, the thing I'm thinking about right now, his father, Dale Earnhardt Sr., told Dale Jr., don't take any crap from anybody. I bet that 8 car catches that 24 and pays it back.
You know what? I bet Dale Jr. getting that top groove and trying to run the 24 down. Remember, hey, by the way, the 24 car hasn't had real good luck here recently. 5 consecutive DNFs.
Well, that 8 car's a red car, and I'll guarantee you right now he's seeing red.
Here's what happened a moment ago. Watch the 8 pull down in the bottom groove.
That 8's not doing anything wrong. That 24 just didn't get out of the throttle and gave him a whack in the back of that car. Oh, man, if I'm Dale Jr., I'm hot right now.
You know what I'm doing? If I'm his crew chief, I'm going to try to get him calmed down. You're mad, so I know he's mad in the car.
I'm not even driving it thinking I'm mad.
I would say just calm down here a minute now. We don't want to tear the car up. Let's keep an eye on what we're trying to do here.
Remember now, he has nothing to lose. The guy in the 24 has a championship to lose. He's in the chase. Brad?
Yeah, absolutely. And as Dale Earnhardt Jr. runs that higher line, speaking about Jeff Gordon, I was actually talking to Steve Letarte earlier, and we were talking about the racetrack, and he says, you know, this race starts in the dark and it ends in the dark. The spring race, though, starts in the daylight, and the track is warm and it cools down, so it changes much more drastically during the spring race than it does now. So going back to Earnhardt Jr., that allows him to go ahead and find that groove up high and start out and stay there throughout the night. So watch for him to come to the front with some consistency as this race goes on.
Jimmy Johnson making his way back to the front. What else is new here at this racetrack? As he's back in 3rd spot, trying to move underneath Kurt Busch in the Dodge. Johnson right now at this point in the race is the points leader in the chase. Kurt Busch has climbed way up to 4th position in the chase. These guys now battling for 2nd position. Johnson on the bottom of the racetrack. Does he have enough momentum to get to the inside? Looks like he just might.
And right now, guys, it's a little too early for these guys to be racing each other side by side. Looks like Kurt Busch maybe let 48 laps and take the lead right now, tuck in behind him. Smart move right there.
87 of 334 laps in the books. Matt Kenseth, the leader. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
Hi, I'm Matt Weiner in New York with this check of your prime time pulse on ESPN right now. SEC football, Auburn leads at Arkansas 3-0, while on ESPN2, Vandy trying to get back-to-back wins against Georgia for the first time since the 50s. Bulldogs have just tied it up at 17-all.
A lot of great college football going on. What's going on with the Georgia Bulldogs? Vanderbilt stepping up against the Dogs, and big upset today with Kentucky over LSU. And speaking of Bulldogs, this guy is absolutely just he's got him in his grip here. The 48 car of Jimmy Johnson again taking the lead, going by Kurt Busch. Busch back in second, Kenseth third. Here's how the pass occurred here. Watch the 48 car just sailing by.
He's definitely got a better car on the bottom of the racetrack, guys. All night long, we've been watching him run the bottom in the top. Now, we all know the fastest way around on a single lap's on the bottom. That's what he's doing right now.
His teammate, by the way, also a bit of a Bulldog. Here's the bump a moment ago. Jeff Gordon into the back of the 8 car for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And that's the kind of bump that usually gets somebody turned around backwards. Junior not very happy.
Let's hear what he had to say, talking about Earnhardt Jr.
I tell you, I could tell he was mad, man. I would be too. You just sit right there and wait for that big red bumper to approach you, Jeff Gordon, because I'm going to come get you, dude.
What do you think Big E would have said, Earnhardt Sr., if he were here watching this little contact? What would he have said?
He said, okay, guys, move over. Y'all settle this somewhere else. I got to go. Because he's still here. He'd be right there with him.
I guarantee you.
He would have flipped his radio switch, Jerry, and went to the 8 car. Dale Jr. said, hey, son, you're not going to take that, are you?
In spite of the fact these guys are going to be teammates in 2008. Here's the 07 Clint Boyer, who came in here third in the chase points. He currently sits third in the chase points.
Man, this guy's a real deal now. He's come in here and he said, I'm not an underdog. I'm gonna be a contender.
Got his very first career win, New Hampshire, race 1 of the chase, in his 64th career start.
Guys, we keep talking about the 07 of Clint Boyer being an underdog and hanging in there, but don't count him out. Week after week, he keeps doing the same thing.
I think that's what fired this team up. They came into this chase at the bottom, and people thinking that, hey, they're just it's going to be an upset if they win it. And so they just want to go out there and prove to people how much they belong in here.
People chuckled about the 07. Hey, what are you doing in the chase? You haven't even won a race, but I guess they showed them, right, Dave?
Well, Crew Chief Gil Martin told me this morning that no one will ever know just how good this team really is, and that's just because Clint's a rookie. This is only his 68th start in Nextel Cup, and he doesn't provide all the feedback that a veteran like the guys in front of him, Kenseth or Busch, might provide. And so they said, what we've done with the limited information that Clint has been able to give us has been fantastic. The team behind him is doing as much as this talented driver is doing.
Man, look at that 07 on the bottom of the racetrack right now, running down Matt Kenseth. He has really got a good car.
And look behind him, the Zeta 5 car. Kyle Busch now moving up in the picture. Another one of the chase contenders.
The one thing I like about this 07 car is his car is fast on the bottom and the top. I saw him in that last run. As these tires wore down, he moved up next to the wall like Junior was, and he was making time up there too. But he's, Junior's the only one he can only run the top. He can't run the bottom.
Top 6 cars right now are all in the chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup. Jeff Gordon in 24 car trying to join the fray. There comes Gordon, running the bottom toward the middle of the racetrack.
Gordon seems to catch him just a little bit each lap, not much. And he's probably pedaling as hard as he can right now to get away from Junior.
I'd say he's motivated. He's got that thing in another gear right now.
Yeah, 2 goals. Get to the front and stay away from that 8 car. Now there comes Junior. He is actually in 7th position. He's the next car behind the 24 of Gordon. About a second differential between the 24 and the 8. Jimmy Johnson, our leader here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Jimmy has led 3 times for 41 laps, 102 laps in the books. You're watching ESPN on ABC.
ESPN's coverage of NASCAR Nextel Cup Series on ABC. The Bank of America 500. Brought to you by Chevy, an American Revolution.
And in the heart of NASCAR country, race 5 in the chase, the story in the FedEx race rundown. Kevin Harvick came in seated 5th, can't seem to buy a break in the chase. He diagnoses a flatus to pit twice.
Yeah, I actually picked the wrong side, Susie, and he's had troubles for the past several weeks. That two, Todd Berry and Kevin Harvick just cannot get a break, and it continues tonight here at Charlotte.
5-time winner here, Jimmy Johnson started 2nd, took the lead for the first time on lap 17. He's led 3 times for 41 laps. So dominant.
He is so dominant here. Jimmy Johnson, don't let the smooth taste fool you. This young man is an aggressive race car driver, and he flat drives that race car hard here at Charlotte.
And Jeff Gordon starts the night first in points and making his presence known. Dale Earnhardt Jr. moves into his groove and forget it.
I'll tell you what, he gives up and gives his next future teammate a little bump to get out of the way. Jeff Gordon's going to the front.
And it seems like it's just been a battle between Jimmy and Jeff. And sitting right there is Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart's laying back in the cut. He's back in the weeds waiting to strike. He needs to have a big night tonight to get himself up in the point position to be able to strike when these last 5 races come about.
Came into the night 154 points back. He's been the biggest mover tonight. Mike has more.
And it's been a huge project for this team all weekend long, Susie. I spoke with Greg Zipadelli this morning, and I asked him to grade his car on a scale of 1 to 10. He said it was a 5, so obviously not very happy. Had to make some serious changes in the front-end suspension after practice yesterday to get ready for this. Big problem for them, they were planning to bring the Kansas car, but they all but destroyed that out there with a crash. Instead, they're using a Pocono car that they're going to have to work on all night long, guys.
And right behind this, there's a 31 car. That's Jeff Burton, who did that great run here last night in NASCAR Busch Series. Started last and went all the way to first, leading the final 61 laps. They've had their hands full this weekend with this car. In fact, they touched the wall with it in the final practice session yesterday.
Right now, he's got some pretty good lap times going on. I've been watching him lap after lap, and he's definitely not out of the hunt whatsoever. He's about a 10th off the leader. That's it. And every now and then, he'll match the leader speed, Andy, so he's got a pretty good handle of the car here.
Yeah, you know Jeff Burton is going to be good here, but it makes me wonder, why is Jeff Burton so good here? He won the Busch race last night. I just wonder why he likes this racetrack so much.
Well, he's a veteran. I believe he really understands the track. He knows when to go and not to go. He knows how to get the car handling good.
He's a 2-time winner at this racetrack in Cup competition, but he's really struggled in the 4 races of the chase. And we asked Jeff Burton to grade yourself in the chase thus far.
If you want me to give it a grade, it's really easy. I mean, we certainly get an F. I mean, it's not been good at all. We took off to New Hampshire, didn't run very well. Dover, we made something out of a day that wasn't very good, and then the next 2 races we blew up. So you can't have, essentially, we didn't have a DNF, but essentially two DNFs, and expect to compete in this thing.
Jeff Burton's 4 finishes in the chase: 8th at New Hampshire, 7th at Dover, 36th at Kansas City, and of course 43rd last week. The engine trouble he had at Talladega, that really wasn't of his doing. He had nothing he could do about that. He's a let's go early at Talladega. Pole sitter was Ryan Newman in the 12 car, his 7th career pole at this racetrack, and as you heard it in the pre-race show, he has never won here, being shown now back in the 8th position.
And Jerry, this is another driver who's got a pretty good run going right now. His lap times are pretty good, meaning about a 10th of a second off the leaders. But the fellows that are really flying right now is his teammate. His teammate's about 2/10 faster, but Ryan needs to stay working on the car, and he will, and he'll get that speed picked up.
It has been 75 races since Ryan Newman has won his last victory, New Hampshire, back in September of 2005. Jimmy Johnson, the one there chasing. We'll come back for pit stops in just a moment. We welcome you back to Lowe's Motor Speedway. Beautiful Lowe's Motor Speedway here in Concord, North Carolina. Filled to capacity here for the Bank of America 500. Debris on the racetrack, bringing out caution for the 5th time tonight. And pit stops become the order of the day. Alan Bestwick.
Kurt Busch hits the first pit box on pit road. You see the catch can man stick the wrench in for a track bar adjustment to adjust the rear roll center of the car. 4 tire change for the 2, Jamie.
Jimmy Johnson came in. He said he's officially tight now. They're going to put a spring rubber in that right rear. They know it'll cost him a couple positions, 4 tires and fuel. Dave?
4 tires for Kyle Busch, whose car would not turn well. Wedge adjustment to their chassis to try to help him. Left side tires coming off and on. Drew tried to get their pumped up before he came down pit road. Pumped up going off, and that's a good stop for the 5.
Very good pit stops as they come out. There's the race off of pit road. Kenseth gains 3 spots. Kyle Busch